welcome back. Welcome back to the HGC. We are currently set up here with Fnatic being up 2-0 over Team Expert. Expert been doing pretty well, had some great early games, especially on 2-minute Spider Queen. Good mid game on BOE, but Fnatic, being Fnatic, knows how to end a series, and they have won twice here now as they are looking for a third win.
Yeah, and you put it best, they know how to end the series and when to end the series. They see a chance, they take it, and now they have a 2-0 lead over Team Expert, who of course came in with high hopes of maybe making something happen here. But let's face it, Fnatic has been playing excellent Heroes of the Storm ever since the mid-season brawl. The only team that currently seems to be able to push them to the limit is Dignitas. And yeah, it's rough, but Dignitas is back in full force. They lost the series to Fnatic, but if those two collide again at the HGC finals, that would definitely make for an interesting match.
Dignitas, the Kryptonite. All right, guys, let's go to battleground number 3 here between our two teams.
Interesting that we still say the Kryptonite of Fnatic, and I think it's one of the teams, it's probably the team that Fnatic respects the most, but if you think about it, the last 4 times that they faced off against each other, Dignitas lost every time. Actually, I think ever since... No, don't quote me, but wasn't it ever since DreamHack Valencia that Dignitas has not won against them anymore? No, the Katowice was the last time.
Kryptonite doesn't equal you have to get the victory. Kryptonite makes you sweat. Like, Superman always wins, but he still sweats over at Kryptonite. Like, it stresses him out.
Isn't it the counter?
It's the counter, but Superman still prevails, and right now Fnatic is still
Superman.
Superman.
Yeah, but he prevails because if he dies, then the story would be over and they don't make money anymore. But overall, just with Kryptonite, you just kill the guy.
Why are you so literal about anything? This is like a close metaphor. Like, it's close enough to be like, oh, I get it, I understand. But no, you're like, no, here's why it's completely wrong, and here's why the writer's right.
But it is wrong!
Wins. All right, man, whatever, dude.
Doesn't it? Hey, he himself says it's a counter. That's how Superman works.
All right.
I mean, I have to be honest, I'm not really sold on the whole Superman franchise anyways. I think Batman...
But that's a different story.
Batman, yeah, that's a different story. Batman is a lot more fun.
Okay, in the Cursed Hollow we go. People at home that don't have Caldor's brain, they get it. And so we'll go ahead and agree to disagree. Team Expert.
I'm just German. You have to deal with that. It's all about efficiency.
I know, man. I know. I know. Team Expert.
Yeah, you do.
ETC.
Then again, you have your weird singing, okay? So it's not like it's only me.
I don't have weird singing.
We walked just now back through the backstage area, and like he starts his random, what was it, Taylor Swift this time? I don't know. And Dred immediately starts laughing, and it's just like sitting there.
That's Gwen Stefani, ain't no hollaback girl. It's both a statement and a song. It's good. You should listen to it.
I know the song.
It's an amazing song.
You're such a girl. Let's go.
All
ETC
right.
is banned, and Medivh is banned as well. What are your thoughts on that, Tim? Drop the knowledge on me. Come on.
Well, ETC is a up and rising character currently in the matches. He brings a lot of CC, a lot of control, a lot of protein to the matches, and typically facing off against that can be quite the pain. So Team Expert walks up, they ban out the ETC because they also want to possibly move into a global play. A lot of those global plays can be Abathur, it can be Falstad, it can be Dahaka. Today, they decide to go with the Abathur, which is great on Cursed Hollow. You get map pressure, soak potential, also a great post-tend.
Expert still reacting with some protein here themselves. They get the worm, so now all that we need on the other side is the bird. So, yeah, jokes aside, Fnatic banning out Medivh against Expert is never really a bad ban.
Yeah.
ADR is pretty good on that hero.
Pretty much what you're going to see against Expert a lot of time is usually a Medivh ban or a plan to try to deal with the Medivh. Now, we've been seeing that less and less because it never seems to work out, so people are just going with the latter of the strategies, banning out Medivh.
Yeah, normally it's just like, all right, let's try something else today.
That was a bad idea.
Every time. I think the one team that could pull it off would be Fnatic, but still, you don't want to risk it even if you're the Swedes. So, Uther Dehaka being picked first of all with ETC taken out. You now have Dehaka for globals, and you have Uther for potential Genji setups, like everything. He's just fantastic. He pairs extremely well, again, with most heroes, and he's also very, very good against most melee assassins, for example. Illidan has a rough time against him, and he moves in, and so does Genji.
A lot of control on those melees that will be coming in. Team Expert now deciding on their second and third pickup. Want to be able to grab someone that can do a couple of things. First off, you want to be able to control those giants around the 2-minute mark, so Rhaegar becomes a good choice. Want to be able to pick up your support, and then also however you want to set up your solo lanes. Typically, you're looking for at least a little bit of decent wave clear, something that allows for you to be stronger compared to what you are without that 1 to 9 that Abathur is a little bit on the weaker side with.
If we had a Destiny 2 character in the game, who should it be?
I think I've only played the Wizard, the Hunter, and I haven't touched the Titan yet. I would go with the Wizard. Whatever he's called, it's not the Wizard, it's
No,
the evil version of Wizard.
I don't want Wizards. We're going with the Titan here.
You want to go with the Titan? I haven't even touched the Titan, but he seems pretty strong. He seems good. I wouldn't mind it.
Okay. So Arthas is actually taken, and we have Tyrael. So basically the exact same front line that Fnatic had in the last game. So with Tyrael, you have your 16. With Cursed Hollow is fantastic since you can zone extremely well with once you have that tool available after level 16 talent. And at the same time, you can of course use Sanctification for any boss fight that we have there. So Tyrael, it's cool to see him back, and I even more so like it since he's not going to be the main tank here since we have Arthas. Tyrael is the main tank. Doesn't really seem to work in Europe. Like every time we have it, it starts to fail. That's something that Korea sometimes still tries to pull off. But for the European scene, Tyrael is most of the second tank that comes into play.
What do you think about that Genji ban? I was kind of expecting Fnatic to move into it themselves.
With Abathar on their side, I don't mind it at all.
Yeah, because of the double clone.
Yeah, not only the clone, but even if you just have the symbiote and you go into the back line, that's super annoying. And with what Fnatic already has, I mean, they still have all the options here. I would say double support could be played with Vala again if they wanted to. Could again play Li Ming, but this time there's also no Cocoon on the other side.
Vala,
there we go.
She is.
So you would need a double second support with it, and that's Oriel. So yeah. Therefore, Genji as a ban also makes a bit more sense now, since it is the pressure play against Vala that you're trying to avoid. And for the front line, they still have the opportunity to go into Johanna. I was thinking for a second if they might play Diablo, since Dries really likes to play him, but the map is not really... I mean, the map is still good for him, but I don't think they would choose Diablo here. More so on Inferno Shrines, Tomb of the Spider Queen.
I still like the Oriel and the Vala here, the 3 support, especially with the Dahaka. Typically on this battleground, you are going to get somewhat of a lane phase because of the distance between lanes, so you can be sure that you'll at least be able to bully someone out, especially with Abathar being up. You can really just apply pressure consistently. If Vala starts to get the edge there, Oriel takes that edge and just runs with it. So you're going to see some turrets being killed, especially here in the early game.
I want to see Jojo, to be honest. I want to see Joanna here. She has some self-sustains, so that means the 2 healer can really focus on Vala. First of all, you can walk out of the Howling Blast, and that's our support. So we actually see Karazim with Abathar.
Pure dive.
Yeah, Karazim is actually pretty cool with Abathar because you are usually able to chase down targets pretty successfully. And if you also have Abathar then as a head on Karazim, you have the damage output that you need to just chase them down and take them out.
Will they get to 16 in a solid state though? Ooh! What up, Shin?
That's their Sky Temple build.
Yeah.
That's their Sky Temple draft that they are playing right now. So I guess we have to put that into perspective here real quickly. In case you haven't watched the mid-season brawl, this Chen setup that we're currently seeing from Fnatic was played by them for the first time in the winner bracket final of Sky Temple and of the mid-season brawl on Sky Temple. And ever since then, a lot of teams have tried to copy it, but it was a Sky Temple only strategy. The thought process behind it is that you have a hero, which is usually the Haka, on the offlane, soaking experience. And normally he's the one rotating even between 2 lanes to take experience. The whole idea is that the other 4 heroes that you have are just barreling down a lane. So you're having you have Chen at the front, and because of his drinking, he is just constantly soaking tower shots, and he's being kept alive by the 2 supports, whereas Vala pushes the damage in. And normally you trade then experience in structures against experience that you lose on lane. So the Haka in that setup is going to try and soak 2 lanes if he can. But normally he misses out on a few waves. So you make up for that loss by getting towers and also forts destroyed with your 4-man. That can basically not be beaten by your opponent, especially in this setup, since Expert has an Abathar. So they only have 4 bodies on the map. Normally what happens is, or what happened on Sky Temple, is that you try to get a super early lead. You get an early level 10, and with that 10, you try and take a boss. And that you try to get immediately to victory. So Fnatic usually tries to end the game shortly after level 10, because they have the level 10, they take the boss, and they push it in. That has been a Sky Temple exclusive so far, but there are 2 bosses on the map, and I think the idea can be very much the same. Get an early lead, take a boss, and completely snowball it.
Let's see if they can pull that off here. It's time to move into Cursed Hollow and see if the old draft here from Fnatic that we show at the MSB is good enough to be Expert and earn a 3-0.
Game on, ladies and gentlemen. Team Expert on the left side in this third game on Cursed Hollow with Kirsten on Karazim, Bad Benny on Tyrael, Thero Angel on Arthas, we see ADRD on Abathur, and Nick on Greymane.
On the right side in the red, Fnatic playing the comp with Chen. Breeze will be that Chen. Quatnick's playing Vola, Wubby playing Dahaka, Schwimpy playing Oriole, and Smexy will be your Uther player. Now, I am curious to see what Vola will be moving into. They did play the multi-shot build the last time they ran this with the Oriole. It generates you a lot of hope and gets you into a spot where you're able to have that hope set up. However, Hungering Arrow does help them out on this battleground because they can get the bosses.
Well, we go into a Hot Pursuit first of all, but I'm going to be absolutely honest. I think that Expert just got wrecked. So Expert in the draft. We've been talking about this draft a lot, and Fnatic used it at the mid-season brawl, and the idea is that your 4-man is going to push heavily with Chen just tanking tower shots the entire time and the double support keeping him alive and Bala doing damage. I love Team Expert's reaction. They know they cannot face this straight up, so they're just trying to outpush in the mid lane, and they attempt to get extra soak through Abathur at the top of the map. But if you look at the draft right now, the one thing that Expert doesn't have, Expert has two problems with this. A, they have an Abathur, so they can't face this head-on. That's their first problem. They need to wait until level 10 until they have the ultimate evolution. And their second problem is that they don't have stuns for Chen. So facing this head up is nearly impossible. And instead, Expert simply says, hey, if they are pushing, let's just outpush them. We have Greymane. It's the only thing we can do. We have Greymane and Karazim. We need to somehow outpush them here. This is our only chance, because if we just play Fnatic's game, then they are going to destroy us with this.
Can Fnatic catch Expert as they try to escape? Smexy's coming around the side. Will have a stun available. He wants to get Greymane. Karazim should be able to dash out, and Expert is able to walk away. Wubby comes in, though, with the drag. They find a Thorough, and they will take him out.
Yeah, he's down. Abathur moved down to the bot lane, and Fnatic is doing the same push up at the top. Now, again, the whole idea here is that you cannot deal with Chen, especially without the stuns. We are in a situation in which Fnatic is always going to have Breeze at the front line. He's always going to soak the shots. The support keeps him alive. He keeps drinking, and then they simply just take them out. So at this point, this is a super aggressive draft that Fnatic plays. They try to get early leads, and then, for example, take a boss, snowball it with a boss. That's the whole thought process here. And Expert, since they don't have stuns, and since they have Abathur, is going to be weak in this early game against this composition in particular. So that Chen pick, that was definitely something that Expert didn't see coming here.
We'll see if they're able to utilize it as Breeze moves in. Bad Benny is on the backside trying to harass that Vola. One of the best ways you can slow this down if you don't have the CC to handle the Chen is to at least get the Vola away from the fight. Fnatic does pull back for the moment, but Dahaka runs to the bottom and is already clearing up those minion waves, working on the double soak. And Team Expert, for a solid amount of time here, has actually delayed this push.
They delayed it a little bit, but to be honest, this is still going to get even worse for them, especially after level 7 for Chen now kicks in as well. So you can already tell the pressure up at the top. But Shrimpy is the one that is actually in most trouble here. Was a bit too far out, and Wubby was late on the move. So they still get Karazim taken out, but that fight still continues. And with Wubby arriving late, the loss of Oriole is a huge problem. But Nick still falls. Smexy is alive, and Thero is going to die as well. He trades against Uther, though. Well done by him. And we still have a 3 versus 3 kills, but Bad Benny might also die if Breeze gets another jump. But the shield is there, and Breeze just simply takes tower shots again.
And remember, Chen was changed to where he gets a little bit more shields on his drinking here, so he should be able to handle this. Can he jump out? No, he just sits there and drinks and dies. Breeze, what?
I mean, he couldn't move out, to be honest.
There was a wall they could jump to.
Yeah, but he didn't have the cooldown. He just jumped over it. The thing is, he just hit 7, and because of what I said earlier, 7 is a big talent for Chen here, since he has Boulder Flavor, which instantly gives you the shield. If he would have had the talent already in that situation, he would actually probably live. So right now, it's still Fnatic taking a lead in experience, and again, it's not only about experience. You trade, you gain structures so much faster than with any other comp, and that's a pretty big deal for them right now. Shrimpy needs to be careful because he nearly walked into that bush, and as we all learned in the Dahaka video that Tim and I put out, don't face check bushes. So he moves back just in time to not fall victim to the gank here. But Dahaka is still soaking the bot lane, and we are having Fnatic still up here at the top. But I have to give some credit to Expert.
They're holding on.
They are actually holding on. It is still a dangerous comp. Still, they don't have a stun. It is a problem. But overall, Expert is holding on to that game as much as they can. Their decision-making is very solid.
Holding on. Howling Blast connects on the side here. Breeze keeping up on that front line, just bullying his way forward with Wubby helping out. There is a drag up and available. Can Wubby connect it on top of the Kerosene? He hits Curson, and Curson gets cleaned up.
I really still believe that Expert doesn't really stand a chance there. For me, this is more or less a draft from what we're seeing right now. I love the way that they're playing this. I think if anyone, with the way that they've been playing it so far, they have a chance to somehow find an opening here. But Fnatic's draft is great, and there is just no way for them, I feel, to deal with Chen in the long run. They have no stun to interrupt the drinking, which is going to be a massive, massive problem for them, because normally when you face off against Chen, one of the biggest ideas is either get percent, maybe with the level 10 on Greymane, but even that is going to be an issue. They have just no stun that you can stack on Chen to really drop him. So the global is going to be an issue, and with 6 kills against 4, Fnatic, they are just willing to brawl here the entire time. They're absolutely happy to trade.
The reason why they came over here to this boss is they also put Tyrael in the middle. They're trying to make that Tyrael come up to this top right side so Dehaka can keep soaking and keep them ahead in the experience. Tyrael not quite biting until now, finally does rotate in while Vala and Uther are working on the middle lane. They want to grab that 10. They want to be able to go grab that boss while they have an advantage over Team Expert.
Late game, Expert has definitely a much better chance to make something happen here. It's really in the early game mainly when Fnatic is going to have a massive, massive lead over their opponent. And it's a tribute for a tribute so far, but the level 10 should now help Fnatic to get a lead in tributes. 10 has also dropped for Expert, but position on the map is already taken by Fnatic now. But the interrupts are probably starting with the Thera here and Howling Blast. Yep, uses it right away. Seeing the Haka, of course, still with another attempt. Breeze is in the middle of things here, going full ham. Has the triple panda available and uses it as they're moving in. Rest of the team kites back. Ethereal in the middle. And here comes the Sanctification. That's perfect for Expert. Doesn't get much better than that. But they still have to retreat because Fnatic is just simply turning it around. And the double support is keeping everybody alive. The palm hits Arthur's. Uther dies. But that gives them the opportunity, of course, to get the heals out once again.
The multi-shot is just chunking here with Uther providing heals. Quacknix is destroying this front line. Eventually gets a clean up. A nice 2-for-1 trade. But sadly, it might be more here as Bad Benny on the top right corner is being chased down by Breeze.
And Oriel went into Resurrection and doesn't resurrect Uther. That just feels bad.
You're just pinging, please, 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 Reds.
It's like really shrimpy. I guess it's easier to just let Uther die and let him come back than wasting the cooldown here. But at the same time, I'm just... Are you serious?
The cooldown is 100 seconds, so I guess the idea is, okay, let's get the boss, get that pushing the top lane, if Ball dies, we're good.
Think how bad that feels. Yeah. You're the one guy that dies, and you're like, thank God we have Oriel, and she can resurrect me. And Shrimp is just like, you're not worth the cooldown.
Some animosity there from Smexy and Shrimpy now.
This is like, you're not worth the cooldown, bro.
We are currently witnessing the moment that breaks Fnatic apart. The Resurrect Gnaw on Uther, big deal here. Come BlizzCon, if they lose, we can definitely pinpoint the moment where it all fell apart.
Again, good decision-making from Expert, though. They know the boss will be taken at the top lane. They react with the boss at the bottom of the map. And the situation where they fought here actually showed that they definitely still have chances of this. But it is going to be a bit rough for the reasons pointed out earlier. And now these close quarter fights are very heavily based around Sanctification as a tool, since especially with Vala having a multi-shot build and Drain of Vengeance, there is just so much available for Fnatic. And the best chance for Expert is a good flanker. That's what they're trying to set up here in the middle. But already a massive, massive brawl is showing again. And this time ADRD is about to lose the copy early on in the fight already as Breeze is attempting to chase.
Quack is low on mana, so it's making it a bit difficult for them to come in for the fight. The fort in the top did get cleaned up, and this is going to be a curse tribute here for Fnatic, which does become a bit more deadly for them. They can have this push completely move in. Breeze can jump over the walls, continue moving in. They still have a boss in the top that is pushing into their keep.
Yeah, but they are actually, especially Fnatic, is not caring about the boss at all. They simply move now down to the bottom, and they're saying like, well, you guys are just going to jump in here right now and making sure that we are pushing the keep a little bit. Because that will force Expert to react, and that means that in the meantime, the Haka can still soak the middle, and every other lane is going to experience even more pressure play.
The pressure point going to be huge here for Chen. Every time that we've seen Team Expert come in, they come in with a flank, and if they can't kill the Vala or the Oriel, it seems like they have to pull away. The moment they go to pull away, though, that pressure point is going to be deadly. This is going to allow Fnatic to continue to chase backwards, tempered by Discipline, even being grabbed by Vala to keep her alive.
Yeah, and then here we go. Arthas comes in from behind. Arthas moving in from behind right now. The Taman strike hits, and everybody's jumping in immediately. This is once again the moment. So far, no sanctification used. There it goes down, and Oriel dies first. Great execution from Team Expert. The triple panda is in place. Mexi is low and uses the Divine Shield, or had it used already, before he falls. There comes Quarknix trying to escape at Benny. Might actually get him, but he's low in mana. That's the biggest problem for Benny right now, that he's so low in mana. Oriel is dead, so there's no resurrection available here. Breeze is also falling, but the Hacker has already made the move to the top lane. Push it in even more. Fnatic still ahead. 10 kills against 8, 14 versus 13 in levels. And the keep at the bot lane is being repaired by the mule that Abathur picked up. That was a great choice from ADRD.
Great fight there from Team Expert as well. Pushing in, using Sanctification to jump straight under the Aureo. If you kill Aureo, no Resurrect comes online. Vol has to play much more safer suddenly, as a team can't group up and provide those heals. And Fnatic are held back for a little bit here as they wait for their teammates to respawn.
Yeah, Fnatic is definitely having quite a bit of fun with the brawling, I would say. But it is starting to become a bit more tricky for them. It's all about playing around Sanctification and making sure that these flanks that you've been pointing out earlier don't kill Oriel. If they can keep Oriel alive and she gets a Resurrect in, then it's all good in these fights. But so far, they haven't really gotten any value out of the ability, because the first one wasn't used since the cooldown was too low, and the second one never had a chance of going off since Oriel was the first target in the fight itself.
Fnatic regrouping up here. Team Expert lingering in experience right behind them, but still staying even. ADRD is sitting behind this turret, completely not scared of a Chen. Granted, the vision was hiding them off there, but still pretty impressive that he was able to sit there and continue to be safe. Fnatic finds a moment in the bottom side to group up and push in with these giants, while Chen and Dahaka slow down the movement from a Thorough. They are well aware that a flank is the game plan from Team Expert, and they're starting to adjust.
Yeah, Expert needs these flanks. Without the flanks, like a straight-up 5 versus 5 fight in direct confrontation is extremely difficult for them to win. So they definitely need that. But Fnatic is definitely they have to work a lot harder for this than they were probably expecting. But you can tell still how much trouble Expert has to control Chen in particular during every single one of these fights. So the thought process is take the healers out. And especially, I mean, in an ideal world, they have to take Oriel out first because of Resurrect.
Next boss coming up will be here in about 40 seconds. Breeze taking some pressure in the middle of the map. Still has Storm, Earth, and Fire. Drinking here. Can't be stunned out. Drops it. Goes around for the engage. Not meaning to do too much here, but still losing out on that Storm, Earth, and Fire could hurt in the next team fight.
They have also the global still. Abathur, of course, can to an extent mitigate it. But the Hawkeye is just a better pusher, so that's something they are going to use. Fnatic gives up the tribute. It's the second one for Team Expert. They take the camp and they will wait for level 16 before they are going to make any plays here. Tempered by Discipline for Vala as the talent, by the way, on level 13, so you can always argue that it might have been smarter for them to maybe go even into Gloom. Expert wants to fight here. Again, Sanctification around boss fights and Holy Ground is fantastic. They don't have 16 yet, so Holy Ground isn't a problem at this point for Fnatic, but Sanctification sure is.
They find a Thorough coming in for the flank. They turn around and they try to blow him up. Will they get the kill? They're working on it. Army of the Dead will be used, but they get the final blow there as Quack moves in for the fight. Bad Benny may have to go for a Hail Mary attempt at the Sanctification, decides not to do it.
Was so close to the palm. He just jumped in as Arthas blew up. He wanted to use the palm and save him, but he couldn't. Now the boss is taken. Fnatic can even go for a double boss play if they want it, but they want the keep first. So they move through the top now. 16 not chosen for Oriel just yet. Probably going to see some auto attack damage here. We're seeing at the same time with Frost Shot now all that value. Benediction as well. You have the double stun, the double heal if you need it. We have Frost Shot. This is fantastic for Fnatic here. 16 is finally there for Team Expert 2. That gives them a lot of good tools. With Greymane, for example, heading straight into the percentage damage with Executioner. We have the Way of 100 Fists and finally Holy Ground, but I don't think that it's going to be enough to save the keep up at the top lane.
ADRD will pull up Karazim as the Ultimate Evolution clone, bringing in some heals, but also they can dive that backline Ariel. They know they have to kill Ariel. Divine Shield will be used on her. Sanctification also being utilized. Arthur's still chasing forward, so is Karazim. Shrimpy finally does a fall, so they find a way to take her out, but Breeze in the front continues to keep healing.
Yeah, and they're going in, but I love how Expert identified him as the target. Vala is now down as well. Uther dies. Breeze once again going into the triple panda as we have the keep finally destroyed. But it's I mean, the Haga takes in the meantime the tribute, and that was important because it would have been a curse. But I absolutely love how Expert has... Expert was the first team that played Resurrection on Oriel in their own comps on the European server in HGC matches. And they are looking at this and they're saying the first hero that we have to kill is Oriel, period. And they are jumping on her hard every single chance they get. And this time, we saw a Divine Shield, but it was maybe even a bit early, and once that was over, they simply focused on her again, and Oriel then finally falls, and Expert opens up opportunities with this. They're winning the team fights, and they actually return. They take a keep down, so Team Expert, again, they're impressing here. I love this.
Get the middle lane pushing, so they're in a good spot in that regard. There is a boss in the bottom left that they could move into. Fnatic thinking about heading over there, but with a tribute spawning in the top left corner, suddenly Team Expert is in a spot where they can make a play for either of them, and I wouldn't mind them moving in for a boss. They're already down here. They're set up. If Fnatic comes down, it could be an issue.
And the problem is just simply that the Haga can, of course, claim the tribute. And the Fnatic is now visible thanks to the watchtower at the bot lane, but the tribute is channeled. That's the second one. And now the Haga can move down. Copy has already been used. Again, they're moving in. They go for Shrimpy. Divine Shield is in. They want Oriel. And Shrimpy is on the run. But again, he's about to fall, but he gets the heal through. And that's a double kill on Arthas and Karazim. They want Shrimpy, but the Detainment Strike pushes everyone away. And with now 3 heroes already dead, Greymane has fallen. There's just no hope for Team Expert anymore. Their hail was in killing Shrimpy, taking Oriel down. And that didn't work. This time it didn't work, and that's the team fight they lose.
Shrimpy had to be breathing heavy during that entire time. I know I was. Him just barely living there. The Divine Shield helpful for sure. Fnatic now grouping up ahead of the top lane. There is 20 seconds before Karazim, Arthas is leaving on the field, and a Greymane. Fnatic wanting to end the game right here, right now, and they're looking like they might be able to. Bad Bang and do his best to delay on the side here, putting damage on Volas, try and make her attack him instead of the core, but Quacknix knows better. He's going straight for the core, burning it down. 5 seconds before we have Arthas and Karazim on the field. The core continues to fall below 20%, and this is going to be it. Fnatic grabs a 3-0 over Team Expert.
GG, Fnatic with a win, a 3-0 victory, a hard-fought one again, and once more, I love how Expert has played the series. Yes, they lose without taking a map, but still, they had a good showing here, and that with that last comp from the get-go, they made good decisions. I loved how they pushed at the start of the game, how they made sure that they didn't try and defend. They just said, we can push nearly harder than you because we have Karazim, we have Greymane, we have so many heroes. So they trade forts in the fights later on. They always focus Oriel, and they win 2 team fights because of it. Even with them having not a single tool against Chen, they're in a situation where they can just simply go for Oriel, they take her, they win team fights, they trade keep for keep. It was very well played by them. Fnatic too strong, but still, Expert shows why they're constantly improving and why every single team in the European scene that you talk to respects them so much.
Yeah, Expert really showing that even with them being in a composition that had no crowd control, they just didn't worry about the chin and try to go for those flanks. Gotta love how they tried to pull that off. Sadly, just not working out overall. I like their drafts overall. I mean, looking at game 2 and game number 1, they really came out, put up some pressure against their opponent. The BOE map was a great one too. Just had a moment where Fnatic got the kill a couple times and went for the kill, and that seems to be the difference right now between Expert and any other team versus Fnatic. It's just that getting that final kill towards the end of the game has been huge. Now let's go over to Quacknix, who is currently here for Fnatic. Quacknix, how's it going, man?
It's going pretty well. I mean, obviously we were already done yesterday, so it feels amazing to have qualified as first seed for BlizzCon. But we come in here today, and I mean, the games weren't really dominant fashion, but we still get the 3-0, which is what matters in the end.
Quick question, where are you?
I'm at my girlfriend's house.
Okay, so your room was so dirty this time that you said there's no way I'm showing that on camera, and you just like played at her place?
It's a nice room. It looks nice.
Pretty much. Instead of cleaning, I just moved my computer.
It's smart. I do that too.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about your composition you read in game number 3. We saw that at the MSB, but what was the trigger that said, okay, it's time for us to pull up Chen?
That laugh.
I mean, so we don't really know. We're just setting up a bit like we wanted to get the avatar ourselves, and when they took it, we just made sure. Like, we open the draft so we feel safe, so we take the Dahaka Uther. So we don't want to give them like Uther Genji with the Abatur, because that's super scary. Especially like if they ban away the Tyrael, like we have nothing to save ourselves from that. So we just set up the draft. And then after somebody like mid-draft, I think it was Breeze, who just said, we can actually push for McDonald's with this one. So yeah, there's a story behind that one. I don't know if you have heard it, but I'm not going to do it now.
Okay, we'll have to hear it another time.
Yeah, so
I know it, I can talk
yeah,
about it.
Breeze just says, oh, we can push for McDonald's here. And then when they lock into the larvas, they have no interrupts for the Shen, right? So it's like, I wanna do it, I wanna do it. So we just went for it pretty much. I mean, it's not grief, and it's like, obviously it worked.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's a really, really special tactic. But yeah, if we snowball early game, if they don't know how to respond to it, and we snowball early game, it's actually super hard because we just take a boss at 10 in core. But obviously they knew what was coming when they saw the draft, so they adapted really well. And then we messed up some fights and also picked
Resurrect?
Res, which never got used.
It looked cool, though. That's all that matters. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to send you over to Caldor.
I don't really have anything, to be honest. I thought that was a pretty fun series that you guys played. And outside of that, talk a little bit about Team Expert. I mean, we know you guys are already qualified for the HGC finals, so let's talk a bit about your opponents here. Expert, it felt throughout the entire series that even though it was a 3-0, that they actually had you really working hard for that win. And especially in the last game, they seem to adapt extremely fast to what you guys were doing. What can you tell us about Expert and how you felt the series went?
I think in the first game we had a way better draft, but since they managed to get some picks in the first turn-in, like they got the Tomb effect where they snowballed the game, and then they just kept getting the chain pace, so we fell really far behind. But as long as, like, it's super hard for them to siege our keeps when they're not that far ahead with that comp versus us, so we just stayed even in the game, and then throughout mid-game, as we're starting to come back, it's really easy for us. I don't know if you paid attention to it, but Garrosh legit becomes a, like, standing body bag. Like, he just soaks damage, he can't do shit. So, so yeah, he just sits there and we just poke, and he can't do anything really. So I felt that game was actually, I felt pretty confident in that game since they didn't manage to get keeps. Second game, it was really hard when they reached 10 with the force walls, because the moment I'm up trying to do damage, I'm out of position if Tassadar is close to me, because he just force balls me in one spear and we pretty much lose the fight. But if we dodge the spear and just straight up turn around, we can win the fights. But yeah, it was really hard in game 2 as well, and obviously game 3, piece of cake.
Yeah, we could tell. All right, thanks very much.
Quack, it's always good to see you, man. But before I let you go, of course, the floor is yours to, you know, get us used to some kind of energy drink that we have not seen yet.
As you have that face right now, keep in mind Bloomby did that already earlier, and his sellout game was absolutely on point, so you have to actually bring something special to the table now.
Oh. I don't know what to do now. So much pressure. But you don't understand this, Caldor. The thing is, it's about being the OG, right? I'm the original one. So it doesn't matter what lines he tells you when he shows this. Like, my face next to this one means more than whatever words he said when showing this. Get wrecked, Bloomby.
Okay, I yield. I'm convinced.
Quatnick's value right there.
Thank you, Twitch chat. You're amazing.
Quatnick's with the love to Twitch chat, and of course his favorite energy drink.
Yeah, these guys aren't trolls at all.
No, they're not goofballs. Fun match, fun series today as we see Fnatic get a nice 3 over Expert.
You want to hear the story? Why they pushed for McDonald's?
Yeah.
Okay, just quickly. Basically, when the draft got actually developed, it was not that someone sat down and was just like, this is an ingenious way of running the strategy. No, it was close. They wanted to get food when they were in one of the boot camps, and nothing was open anymore. The only fast food chain that was still open was McDonald's, and only for another 10 minutes. So they were in a draft, and they were like, we have to finish this in 5 minutes. How do we do that? So they just simply drafted what they thought might work. Worked out. They went to McDonald's, got food, and then they said, we could use that in a tournament. And that's how they defeated Team Dignitas.
Today we are smarter because of that story. Yeah. HGC. Making your brain IQ go up. Let's go ahead and look at our standings here as it has been updated. At the very top, Fnatic continuing to kill it here with 11-1. 3 games up over Team Dignitas right now, looking pretty darn solid in that first spot there. And all the way at the bottom, Team Good Guys with 2-10. But the Playing Ducks and Team Liquid, probably one of the most exciting matches that we saw this weekend.
Yeah, we have definitely, we have great standings. The bottom 2, that's of course where the Crucible spots are, and the Ducks and Good Guys are a little bit far off the rest, but if you just look at place 6 and place 2, like the difference between the two of them, it's not all that great. So it's actually pretty fantastic how close this season is.
And now when we're starting to see a little bit of difference in the top, the difference in the bottom, it's all about the middle of the pack right now. Those playoffs coming in a couple of weeks. Each win is very important for our teams to get a better standing as they continue to get ready for that face-off that will be coming. Because remember, 6th place plays against 5th place. 5th place, the winner of that will play against 4th place. And it'll be a fun way to climb top. So the more higher you are in the standings, the better your position for those playoffs.
What record is Fnatic on? Was that a 12-0 now?
No, it's 11-1.
No, I mean in maps.
Oh,
are we at 9-0, 12-0? What have they done?
Oh,
they lost.
They're 9-0 right now.
9-0.
Yeah,
They had 2 maps that they won the Western Clash without dropping a single map. Then in their match against Team Dignitas in the regular season, they dropped 2 maps, and ever since then, I don't think they dropped a single one.
No,
right?
they haven't.
Yeah, so 9-0.
Killing it. Well, scheduled next week for next Friday here as Week 9 will be coming your way. What matches will we get to watch on that Friday? It's going to be a great one. You should be definitely tuning in to get all of the matches coming your way. It's going to be Tricked Esports and Team Expert starting the day off.
Both of these games are so good. Tricked against Expert. That's, again, a match of direct competitors in their attempt to climb the ranks for the playoffs. And then later on, Zealots versus the Playing Ducks. For the Ducks, this is one of those do-or-die moments. They lost today against Team Liquid, but against the Zealots, they have to perform with a victory if they want to have chances of climbing out of the Crucible. So it got much harder. They rode out of the Crucible, but this is one of the last moments where they can actually, against the direct competitor, get, so to say, like a double win, them climbing a little bit and pushing the other one down. And of course, we also have some North America on Friday for you.
That's right. Superstars of Space Station Gaming playing on Friday. Space Station Gaming trying to rock it up in the standings. Even a Death and Team Freedom finishing out your Friday.
Yep.
Good Friday, man. Looking forward to it. Easy peasy. Make sure you tune in. We'll be here at twitch.tv/BlizzHeroes for all the action. Got to continue loving our series. What was your favorite weekend, or favorite series this weekend?
Probably Liquid versus Tricked.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was
Friday.
really good. We had actually really good series the entire weekend, but I would say that was probably because of the hype and also because of the way that the Tomb game went. That was pretty awesome. I mean, we said it several times, guys. You can check out all of these games, of course, on YouTube. They are all uploaded, and make sure that you check those out. They're usually uploaded even immediately after the games are done, and especially was it the second match? Tomb of the Spider game between the Tomb of the Spider Queen game between Team Liquid and Tricked Esports. I think it was map 2 or map 3.
Map 2, Tomb of the Spider Queen.
That was pretty fantastic. The entire series was awesome. We are actually currently in Europe blessed with a lot of great games. I mean, they are a lot of fun. Even the wins, even like the 3-0 victories, no matter which side, they're usually really close maps. We very rarely currently see these stomps happen.
3-level leads, yeah. The birth.
Zealots was also good. The
Yeah.
Zealots series. What was it against? Oh, kill me now.
Dignitas.
Dignitas, exactly.
Yep.
That was yesterday. That was also pretty amazing. I was blown away by the Zealots and how well they played there. So guys, if you haven't watched these games live, make sure that you check it out over the week because you really missed out.
Well, let's go ahead and look at our top 3 cheers here in HGC Europe. Fnatic continues to lead, hitting almost 3.6k million. Taking DOS 2.4 and Team Liquid with the 1.3.
And today, finally making a good argument again why you should cheer for them. I also thought that Blumby's speech was actually pretty awesome.
Inspirational, yeah.
Yeah, they know that they are currently, of course, I mean, it's really helpful. If you are in a slump and you're in a situation where it's difficult for you to break out of it and you have people that still support you and that just tell you, hey guys, you can still do this, we believe in you, that's always worth a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult to be in a slump, but also to have many people talking about you, possibly falling in the crucibles and stuff, but still have the confidence and the posture to go ahead and sit there and continue to think about the positives and what he wants to focus on, which is moving to BlizzCon. That's so inspiring to actually see that from Blumby.
Of course, big shout out to also the top 5 cheers, the top 5 that have cheered so far for the season. Gladman all the way up at the top, Creators as well. Doki 2 on the 3rd place, Sigmo 13 and Dragheart.
Is he going to hit 1 million bits?
I mean, at this point, obviously he will. If you go that far, then at least at BlizzCon you're going to be like, okay, I want to have the Sitch Ditch now.
That is impressive. All right, guys, that's it here for the weekend. Thank you for enjoying HC Europe for week number 8. We'll be back next week. Up next, though, North America coming at you.
Now the Haka can move down. Copy has already been used. Again, they're moving in.